Is the Google Pixel 7 Pro worth buying in 2023? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, and this is the Google Pixel 7 Pro. Now, for full disclosure, this device is a gift from Google, and I am part of Team Pixel, but all opinions expressed in this video are completely my own. Now, the Pixel 7 Pro was launched back in October of 2022, so it has been around for a little bit at this point, but I wanted to make this video to look back on this device to see if it's still worthwhile at this point. And in addition to that, I'm sure many of you are really curious about how it's been holding up. Now, if you are considering getting a Pixel 7 Pro, you do have quite a few options at this point on how to get one. For example, you can get this device brand new for $899, factory unlocked. It's also being offered from a variety of different carriers, and typically at those carriers, they do offer pretty generous discounts. And then finally, since it has been a bit since the phone's launch, you can actually find these used from a variety of different places such as eBay and Swappa. And I know, for example, on Swappa, you can get a used Pixel 7 Pro for less than $500. So that's certainly something worth considering on whether you want to go the new or used route. And it really depends on what you're looking for specifically with a smartphone. Now, since getting this phone, I have used it quite a bit, and thankfully it has held up really well throughout that time. Now, I've never put a screen protector on this device. However, after about a week of having the phone, I did end up getting a clear plastic case to use with it. And I do actually regret not using a case from the beginning, because you can see that around the camera module, it did pick up some scratches. Now, the other parts of the phone, such as the back of the device and sides, did not get scratched up at all. So apparently this material around the camera must be a little bit weaker. So due to this happening, I don't really recommend using this phone with no case at all, unless you don't mind it getting scratched up as time goes on. But again, you can see here that despite this phone not having a screen protector ever since getting it, the display is pretty much flawless and there are no scratches here. Now here's the box the Pixel 7 Pro comes in. There's a picture of the phone up front there, and you can see it's a pretty slim box. And then included is this booklet. We're also getting a USB OTG adapter, and then there's also a double-sided USB-C cable for charging and data transfer. Now, I think for most people, they're not going to actually need this adapter, but it is still cool that it is included. You probably also noticed that there is no USB wall adapter included, so you will have to provide your own. Now, with the Pixel 7 Pro, we're getting a very large 6.7-inch display, and this display does feature Corning Gorilla Glass Victus. So that's probably why the display really never picked up any scratches since I started using this phone, because of that really high quality glass. Now with this phone, we are getting an LTPO AMOLED 120Hz refresh rate display, and you can see it does look really nice and colors are excellent. This is also a 1440p display, so super crisp and clear. It has a PPI 512, a 19.5:9 aspect ratio, which gives us a more narrow but taller form factor, and we're getting an 88.8% screen to body ratio, so pretty small bezels all throughout. Now due to that awesome AMOLED display, we're also getting really great viewing angles too with this phone, and overall, you're really getting a top of the line experience here. Having that faster refresh rate really makes things run smoothly on this phone's display, so it really does feel very premium. Now up top here, we do have a 10.8 megapixel front-facing camera, and stay tuned for a little bit later on in the video, as I'll be showing you some various photo samples from the various cameras here on the device. But of course, just like other phones in the Pixel series, the Pixel 7 Pro is really well known for its excellent cameras, and what's great too is that they're really taking a combination of solid hardware, but also really good software using AI and machine learning to give you the best images possible. Now this phone is offered in several different storage configurations, but this particular version of the device has 128 gigs of storage. And unfortunately, there is no microSD card expansion compatibility, so you are limited with just that internal space. Now I have managed to actually fill up the storage quite a bit since getting this phone, especially because this has been one of my favorite devices for taking photos, so I had no problem filling up that space. So I am hoping that with the Pixel 8 Pro, we get 256 gigabytes of storage for the base model instead of 128. And then with this device, we are getting wireless charging and then also reverse wireless charging. So if you happen to have another device that is wireless charging compatible, and you find it low on battery, you can actually use this phone as a wireless charger. Simply switch into that mode, put the phone face flat, and then put the other phone on here, and that device will then charge. So that's a really nice feature. In addition to that, we're also getting an in-display fingerprint sensor with the Pixel 7 Pro, and it's very fast and responsive. Definitely a big improvement from the Pixel 6 Pro, which came out a year before this device. And then in addition to that, we're also getting Face Unlock, so I do appreciate that we're getting multiple methods for accessing the phone. And then taking a look at the main cameras on the back of the phone, we're getting a 50 megapixel main camera, a 48 megapixel 5x telephoto camera, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera that can capture images at up to 126 degrees. Now here's how things look on the camera app on the device. This is with the main rear camera right now. Then from here, we can go to the telephoto camera by going to 5. So that activates the 5x optical zoom. Now optical zoom, of course, is way better than digital zoom because it's actually using the optics of that particular camera instead of just cropping in on a standard photo. We can also head over to the 0.5 to get to the ultra wide angle camera. And as you can see, we can fit a lot more content into a single frame here. I'm definitely a big fan of using the ultra wide camera, and it really comes in handy too when I'm on trips, because I'm able to take photos of large buildings and a lot more of my surroundings. But then from here, we can go over to portrait mode to get those nice blurred out backgrounds, and then we can flip around to the front facing camera to take portrait selfies. And what's cool too is that there is an option for a group selfie, so you can kind of crop out a little bit there. And then of course we also have the option to take standard selfies too. So a lot of different camera abilities here with this device. But here's some camera samples from the actual phone itself, and I'll let the quality speak for itself because you can actually see the photos right in front of you here. But again, the cameras on this phone are really some of the best out there, and it's been one of my favorite devices to take with me, especially when traveling. And the cameras are so good that it really takes all the worry out of taking photos because you don't have to really think about much. You just capture the image and typically the result turns out really good. And even in low light situations, it is tough to take a bad looking photo because even when it comes to taking photos in that situation, the results still turn out great because of the software features such as AI and then also the hardware of the device itself. Now with this phone, we're getting 12 gigabytes of RAM paired up with the Google Tensor G2 processor. Now that combination has worked out really well for me. I've been happy with it. Now I know there's a lot of differences between the Tensor processor and how it works compared to other flagship processors from companies that compete against Google Pixel, but even after nearly a year of having this phone, I still find it to run very smoothly, and it does perform like a top-of-the-line flagship device. And then I did run a benchmark test using Geekbench 6, and here are the scores that I got from that test. So I got a single core score of 1479 and a multi-core score of 3792. So what I recommend doing is running this test on your current phone and then compare your scores to these scores to get a better idea of how the Pixel 7 Pro compares to what you currently have. Now video recording with the Pixel 7 Pro maxes out at 4K with both the front and rear cameras, so that's great to see. And then also, compared to its predecessor, the Pixel 6 Pro, video quality is improved significantly with this device. And then with the Pixel 7 Pro, we're getting a very large 5000 mAh internal battery, and this phone is compatible with up to 30 watt fast charging. Now the software here on the phone is Android 13, and it does feature the Pixel Experience, so pretty much stock Android here, but there are still some special proprietary features that have been added in with the Pixel 7 Pro. And then with this device, we are getting NFC, so you can use the phone for tap and pay, and then we're also getting IP68 dust and water resistance, which means the phone can go underwater for up to 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes. And then this phone is compatible with eSIM, but we also do have a nano SIM slot. But taking a closer look at the hardware of this device, as you can see, it does have a very premium build to it. It is made of metal and glass, but on the left side of the phone, we just have the SIM card slot. Then on the right side, we have the power button, and then volume up and volume down. Then up top here, we have the noise canceling microphone. And then on the bottom of the phone, we have the speaker, USB-C port for charging and data transfer, and the microphone. And then with this device, as I showed you before, we do have that in-display fingerprint sensor, which is very fast and accurate. So overall, I've been very happy with the Google Pixel 7 Pro. I feel like this phone is still one of the best out there, and it still packs in a lot of value. Now we're probably just a few months away from the Pixel 8 Pro launching, so you might want to consider whether or not you want to wait for that phone or go for this one. But as I mentioned earlier in the video, if you do want to consider getting this phone used, you can save quite a bit of money compared to its full MSRP. But also, carriers are offering this phone too at very big discounts. So certainly some things worth thinking about there, but regardless, if you do want to go for this device, I don't think you'll be regretting that decision. But this concludes my video on the Google Pixel 7 Pro in 2023. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, but this is Kevin here, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and have a great rest of your day.